Today on the show of Caffeinated Conversations, we have Simon here. This is our second show of Caffeinated Conversations, where we are going to speak about photography, understand how he thinks about the subject.
It was very busy, thank you very much. I had some working coming up, like in the afternoon, and it's been a good day. What about yours? It was
My day was good.
Look,
Just working and setting this up
okay.
and then framing questions and
Yeah.
understanding how this shoot will take over.
Of course, you choose outside. It's a bit windy, but it's cool.
So getting to the first question, the most important
Yeah.
question I would like to know is, do you prefer to shoot on a digital camera or do you prefer to shoot on a film camera?
I will be very short and will answer to you directly. So basically, it would be like more, passionate and being touched, telling you that I prefer to shoot in film, but that's not true. I prefer to shoot in digital. You can do more stuff. You can like edit more, of course, in film. It's more fascinating for sure. But I do have some camera where I like shoot and film, but for sure I would choose digital camera.
In a film camera, you craft your image properly, right? Once you have shot a picture,
Yeah.
you cannot rechange it. You cannot delete it.
Yeah.
In digital, it's very easy to shoot and delete.
That's very true, and I agree with you in some scenario. But at the same time, I'm thinking that now with Instagram and social media, like people want to see incredible stuff. Like the level is that high that you cannot achieve this with like a film camera. You need to do a lot of post-production, and in order to be able to do so, you need to shoot in digital.
Like, when it comes to lighting, we are told that lighting is the most important aspect of photography, right? Any photography you do, you need to know lighting really, really well. Now, coming to studio photography,
Yeah.
because you are a portrait photographer.
Yeah.
In a 3-point lighting, which is the most important aspect according to you?
According to me, I think highlights for sure. Like being able to find some kind of harmony between the 3 points, and I wouldn't say that there is like one that is more important than another one, but it's about the balance between them. Okay, that's what photography. And I wouldn't say that there is like one that is more important than another one, but it's about the balance between them. That photography has to be like it's like the manifestation of balancing. Okay, harmony and balance is the most important things. And when it comes to lights as well, I'm thinking the same basically. Be able to put the different 3 points that are even more sometimes points of light in harmony. That's the only way how you can reach like a good level of focus more to one instead of another one, because otherwise it's not going to be balanced. And don't get me wrong, there are some photographers they want not to be balanced. That's one of the main part of them. Like they want to be recognized for like a very specific type of work that they do, and that's cool, that's amazing. But you need to be a fantastic, very famous photographer to be able to be allowed to do so. Okay, for all the normal mortal photographers as we have, the balance is the most important.
We will move to the next question. Just for the audience, can you please explain in one sentence or less, what is a 3-point lighting?
It's the way how you build a picture. It's the way how you find balance in the picture. Like it's the way how you can see a scene before you're shooting, and in order to be able to do so, you need to be able to see the different 3 points and catch them like in the best possible way.
Another important aspect of model photography or portrait photography is the difference between modeling lamp and flashlight. And what is more important according to you?
I think, as you said, it depends what you want to achieve. So if you want to do like portrait, like the kind of lamp are very useful if you want to give like a specific impression or you want to tell a story about what you're shooting, you know. It depends what you want to achieve. Like photography is like painting. You can do whatever you want. You can paint like a landscape. You can paint like a person. You can paint like a building that way we are into, or like whatever, an animal, or something that is not even existing, you know, something fantasy, you know. So in base of what you want to achieve, you need to use different type of tools that's gonna help you to go as close as you can.
So in this occasion, I would say I'm not a big fan of flash lamps. I find them like not really in connection with what I'm doing, but at the same time, I think that if you want to do like a photo shoot, like an indoor one, and you need something that is it can gives you like good performances, flash lamps are like...
While thinking about shooting a portrait, how do you craft a whole portrait? Because a portrait in a whole is a story by itself.
This is very good. This is where I'm like more able to answer to you. I'm not a really you can say technical photographer. I didn't study much. I read some books, I saw some videos, I watched some films. But since the beginning, since I'm doing photography, like portraits are the one that I more like and I love. And the reason why is because,
As you said, you are like telling a story.
I do think that people need to have a little bit of like a catchy eye to see what they want to tell.
I don't think that like so many people, you know, are doing portraits in the middle of the street. So you can see on TikTok videos or these kind of photographers that are just getting someone on the street and take like good picture and edit them, okay?
Let's say that I meet you first time, as is today, and then start to asking you, oh, so are you studying arts in Westminster? Where are you from? What are you doing? Where you come to London? Whatever. And after, I'm like, why? Why you came here? You know?
So yeah, that's for every kind of portrait that I do to someone. It starts with a conversation. It starts with, why are you doing what you're doing? What moves you? And after that, I met the person and I know a little bit about them. I feel, probably it's a placebo effect, I don't know, but I feel that I can shoot them better and do a better work.
The reason why is because I know something about the person. So when I would take like a shoot of them, and I think that they are ready to be like to be taken a picture of, everything changed. Like I cannot take a picture of I can do that one-to-one session. I'm doing some of them, you know, like I'm meeting people, you know, charging them a fee and do some portraits. But that's not what I like. What I like is like find someone, meet the person, and understand which kind of story they want to tell me. And what I know that.
What happens when they try to change the story while they...
Oh, you cannot change it. You can of course fake it. Like, if you want to take like a very like intimate, natural portrait of someone,
They cannot fake it. Like you cannot fake it your soul.
So according to you, photography can also be related to philosophy because you just spoke about inner self.
Absolutely. Photography is painting. Photography is architecture. The photography is like an expression, a physical expression of feelings all the time.
One more important aspect, as we are always told, is to follow the rules.
Yeah.
Follow your rule of thirds, follow your rule of spirals. First question here is, which is the most important rule of photography according to you? And secondly, do you think breaking these rules are actually necessary, or we need to stick to these rules to get a better portrait or to get a better...
I would say when you start, it's important. Let's say you want to start photography, right? You need to follow the rules.
why we follow rules in life? Because they help us to live in better.
Let's say that I can say bad words in the video. I cannot say them.
And the reason why is because this message is going to be spread out to more people. Photography is the same. Like a rule allow you to do like a better work. A work that can be like appreciated for more people.
And again, as I told you at the beginning, if you start to be like famous, like someone is recognize your work, and you can start, every photographer starts his own style, but when you are able and you know photography very well, you can break them.
Not the beginning. The beginning, of course you can, but you don't know how to break them, because to break them, you need to know how to follow them.
Correct. Speaking about photography, every other aspect we have spoken till now, personally I feel white balance is the most important thing.
Mm-hmm.
How do I balance my shadows? How do I balance my highlights? Do you think it is important to focus on white balance while shooting, or as photographers, we can keep white balance aside and focus on the other things?
I think that no, you shouldn't like take the white balance like aside. You should like take care of it since the beginning, since you're like setting your camera. So yeah, of course, like a better picture that you can shoot at the beginning is gonna be a better picture that's gonna give you more outcome, more results after post-production.
Let's say that you need to, like renovate like an house. If the house was built like nicely at the beginning, it's gonna be easier. If the house was built like in a bad way, like it was so bad, it's gonna be even more like time consuming to put them all together and do like a great job.
Now you spoke about post-production,
Yeah.
right? So now I come to the next question.
Yeah.
Do you prefer to shoot a portrait correctly in the first place, or do you like spending time and effort on editing the portrait,
Yeah.
on making it better on post-production? Because I think post-production can only get you somewhere, but if you shoot it properly, then shooting properly is half work done.
Yeah, of course, even more than half. More than half. I think it's 70%.
I would say the second one, like you need to focus at the beginning. Like if you shoot like correctly at the beginning, it's gonna be easier for you after in the post-production. So absolutely, like you need to be careful at the beginning for the lights, like the colors, the Kelvin one. Like you need to be able to do a great job at the beginning. And sometimes you can, maybe you want to do something fast and you like setting your camera very quickly. And no, you should be able to take your time and do like a good job at the beginning, because otherwise, as you said, you're gonna spend too much time behind the post-production. No one's want to do it. No one's want to do it. Like, of course, I like to color. I like to very windy long. Of course, I like to do color correction. I love that. When you have like a raw image and it's changing completely. It's the beginning is most important. Okay.
And important question coming to like any art form, whether it's painting, whether it's photography, whether it's graphic design,
Yeah.
or any design for that matter. Do we need to understand the theory aspect of these art forms? I mean, I'm speaking in generally about art forms
Yeah.
and then going into photography.
Okay.
Do we need to understand the theory behind all of this, or we can directly do it practically without?
5%. You need to study a little bit. I'm talking about arts in general, but you need to practice. Practice is 90%. Talent and theory is 10%. Like, you can have like a good eye. I think I have a good eye for portraits, for example. Okay, but if I don't shoot like many of them, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. I need to practice. Let's say that you're like, I told you something that is gonna answer to your question. I saw 2 days ago a reel on Instagram that was talking about actors that they never went to a dramatic.
This brings me to another very important question in photography. Understanding what are the basic mistakes a beginner photographer makes, right? And this question is for people who are starting photography, so that they understand how important it is not to make mistakes, how important it is to know your mistakes beforehand while starting.
Yeah.
So do you think, okay, what are the basic mistakes a photographer makes
Okay.
in the beginning of his career?
So I would answer very quickly. So basically, it's you cannot predict them. You will do them. Okay, for sure. Like when you start to do photography, you will do a lot of mistakes, and that's completely fine. And you can do nothing about it. And the main mistake they're doing is to do too much color correction. Makes a picture looks fake, too fake. I don't like it. I did it. I don't like it. I don't do that anymore. Or at least I try to don't do that anymore. And on top of that, I think focus too much on theory. As I said before, they focus so much on theory, and This is the biggest mistake that photography make, I tell you. Think that the equipment that you have is gonna give you the best results. Let me say that again. Think that you should have a better equipment to have better results. That's not true. I know people that are doing picture with the phone, the iPhone, and they are amazing. Amazing. Trust me, amazing. I couldn't do that.
The end of Caffeinated Conversations episode 2. We had a really nice photographer here who spoke about many things that we need to understand as beginner photographers. I mean, I consider myself still a beginner photographer.
Sure.
And you spoke about how important practice is. You spoke about how important theory is. It is important, but practice is much more important.
Wait, man. This is what practice, man.
Equipment. Again, you need to know your equipment beforehand.
Yeah.
But equipment can only get you somewhere. It's only how you use those equipments.
Absolutely. Just to finish this, I would like to say that you need to push your equipment as far as you can. And once you have used like all the way possible to use your equipment, so at that case, you can, upgrade your equipment. But before, we have all the tools to do that.
Right. And to come to the end, I would like to quote Ansel Adams here, one of the great photographers and my inspiration when it comes to portrait photography. He said, "A great photograph is full of expression of what one feels." So I think that is one statement Simon has completely spoken about in a very subtextual way, though, because he said that how he spoke about different aspects and how they affect an expression, how they express feelings, and he went to speak about inner self, which brings me to photography and philosophy. They are connected. And yeah,
Thank you very much for having me, man.
thank
No problem.
it was nice. And we will speak to you in the coming episodes. We will have another podcast.
Absolutely. Happy to be here again. Okay?